All right, y'all, what's going on? Welcome back to the Last But Not Least podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Snap-a-Show. I know it's been a while.
It's your favorite cousin, KG.
And we got a special guest in the building today.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead and talk to him one time.
I'm Valerie. Teamval on Instagram.
Okay, y'all go follow her. Be sure you go follow her. Wanted to get y'all some content. I know it seems like it's been forever, right?
Yeah, it's been a little minute.
Papa Diddy Pop out here in these streets going, wow.
Take that.
Bad boy for life. I don't know what he meant by that.
Did he mean take that?
I sound like it.
Take that. It's
Sound
in
like
the background of a lot of his
talk to him.
Yeah.
And stuff,
So for those people who are unfamiliar with what we talking about, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, aka Papa Diddy Pop, has been in the news for several cases. I won't say the word, but let's just say it was some essays going on. It was Cassie, which was his former girlfriend, who had like one hit on Bad Boy, no shade. And then there's several, I think it's up to like 5 or 6 allegations, right?
It's a lot.
It's a lot of stuff going on. And then, 50 trolling, as 50 gonna do, talking about how he been trying to take men shopping. And then now TD Jakes is in the game. Apparently there's some male prostitutes that he been laying up with. He actually had a sermon where he kind of didn't say he didn't do. He didn't say he didn't do it.
He said he's not going to entertain a lie.
Yeah, but
Nigga, you gay.
Just saying.
I mean, but if you don't own up to it, is that like kind of admitting to it? If you don't, if I say I killed a person, or if I killed a person and I would say, don't put me in that rumor or that lie. I ain't never say I didn't kill the person. It's just
there's a lot of stuff going on with Puffy and these Puffy parties, and I don't know. What are your take on like the industry and like hearing these scenarios? Because to me, none of this stuff is shocking to me. Like, this is all stuff I've heard for years. It's just now coming to fruition. What are your thoughts about like being a female, like, you know what I'm saying, like being in the Atlanta scene, like where people kind of not anymore, but I'm saying like
used to be.
Right before, like, you know what I'm saying,
reformed.
like we given our life to Christ since then. But like how, like, have you ever found like females, or have you ever had a situation where like somebody tried to, like, they had a certain status and they kind of like tried to lean on their status, like, you know what I mean, like out and about?
No, I haven't been in a situation like that personally, but I've definitely heard of stories. But yeah, when you do have a certain amount of power, I mean, that does influence a lot of people to sort of keep quiet, because you feel like nobody's going to really listen to you or believe you. So, and then maybe even not even people of power, just sometimes a lot of women have to deal with victim bashing, like victim blaming. So sometimes people just don't want to speak up.
Gotcha. Well, you know what? And me personally, like, there's something about, now granted, there are some people who do believe that, and I think inevitably it's a copycat world, right? So a lot of people like hear those things like, oh, well, this happened so long ago, and I can kind of speak to it now and kind of speak my truth. But I think there's something a little ironic to like how like somebody get accused of something and then there's like 12 allegations. It's like, now come on, all y'all just got the strength yesterday. Like, come on, bro. Like,
wait, what you mean by that?
Okay, so Cassie sued Diddy and then he settled out of court. Then 4 or 5 other females kind of just pop out of the blue. You don't find that suspicious? So you think they're like jumping on a bandwagon, or do you think they now finally have courage?
I think they jump on. It's a lot of people that jump on a bandwagon after allegation come out. It's like, yeah, that happened to me, to just see if they can get something out of it. So, because, I mean, really, all you have to prove is we was at the same spot at the same time. Yeah. All the rest of the details.
And that's why people don't tell their stories, because of what y'all just said.
What? But come on now, we know
they might not all be okay, but
scammers.
Yeah,
come on.
I mean, if we get into a wreck and you outside the car, and I tell you this insurance policy is $1 million, you're not gonna get in the car?
I mean, we're not talking about that. we talking about SA situations. And I don't know. I think Yeah, sometimes people are scared to speak up. But I mean, the amount of people that did come out after Cassie, I feel like maybe they just got the courage to speak up.
Okay, now let me throw you a curveball, right? So Vin Diesel just got hit with an SA. Yeah, he just got hit with SA, right? Old girl who filed the claim against him said that this shit happened during Fast 5. Nigga, we on Fast 11. You telling me that it took you that long, right outside the statutes of limitations, I think, from where they can actually convict on it? And that's the part that also kind of throws a loop in it, where it's like,
right,
there's no actual crime that can be charged against that because of the statutes of limitations. These are civil suits. And for somebody like a Vin Diesel, right, like him being accused of SA could ruin the franchise. So it behooves him to settle out of court on something like that. And there's really little to no proof other than the allegations that, you know, he apparently pulled up a dress here and he did some things. Apparently he hit the NOS tank button on that girl, apparently. And I just don't understand, if that happened during Fast 5, what took so long for this to come out, because they're on the left at this point.
Do some of these people sign like non-NDAs and stuff like that? Does
that
affect?
That was a thing back then. I mean,
they always had
for certain situations, like a Diddy party, I don't think there was a non-disclosure signing for that.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, NDAs do expire too, so possibly.
Yeah, I think something is expired.
Possible. Now, Vin Diesel, this was like, they said this was like on the set.
Yeah.
So
this is on set?
Yeah, they said this was like, he met the girl on set. That's like, he gave her job, and then like, I guess there was some kind of experience that happened, and then she lost the job, and then now it's like.
So basically, it's like their word against.
That's what it usually boils down to.
And it's hard when it's like that. And
yeah.
Back to my point, that's probably why a lot of people don't come out.
Don't speak up.
Yeah. Especially with somebody of power. I mean, it's like, who's going to believe little on me?
Yeah, but see, but this is the thing though, and I get that it's like, well, who's going to believe me? But what changed between when it happened and today? Like, if you didn't think they were going to believe you then, why would they believe you now? Exactly. Like, what changed? What?
I still go with like the whole Me Too movement. Like, you know, like just hearing other people share their stories gives some people courage, because some people are scared. They scared of these people. These people got money.
That's true.
Money.
That's true. I'll throw you another curveball. So for those people who are in the football world, there's a punter by the name of Matt Areza. They call him the punt god, right? So he was cut from his team. I think he was like a rookie. He got accused of SA, but it wasn't SA, it was the big R. I ain't talking R. Kelly.
The lie detector test determined
he got accused of that.
Was
right?
a lie.
And the charges got dropped. He got exonerated. Come to find out, the claim was completely bogus. Yeah. He got cut from his NFL team. Nobody has picked him up yet. So his life is really kind of tarnished and destroyed at this point. And the girl's name won't even be released to the public. So it's just like, how do we get to a point? Everybody talks about equality. How do we get to a point where the people who are victimized can believe that they can come forward in a safe space, but in the same breath, the person you're accusing has some type of recourse? Because you can't just sit up here and throw false accusations out here. Even if he sues this girl and wins, what does he gain? The girl ain't got no money, other than the fact that maybe you get her name released or something like that. But he lost in this situation, and apparently he didn't do anything. And I'm not saying that's always the case, but when it is the case, like, how do we protect? It doesn't seem like the government wants to protect men. Let me just throw it out. I think guys in general are not protected by the government. I think the government protects.
And you think females are?
Yes, I'll turn that down a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do. I really do. And if you think about it, Jonathan Majors is another case where all he did was take his phone back, which he's allowed to do, and tell her to just go ahead and go home and try to assist her into the car. It wasn't like
it seemed like he kind of tried to de-escalate the situation.
He ran like 9 city blocks in New York trying to get away from this woman, and they still convicted him of reckless assault or something like that. And
he got removed from like the Marvel movies.
Yeah, they dropped him. And one was a misdemeanor charge, and one wasn't even a charge, it was a ticket. So it's like a citation. So this man has been dropped from the Army ads. We don't even know how many movies and scripts they sent him to kind of come on to. And now he's been dropped because he got into an argument. And I know Dr. Umar is going to say you shouldn't be dealing with those white girls. I feel like you love who you love, right? Like, I don't think that if you want to deal with whoever, whatever color, skin color, whatever, that's your choice. I don't feel like the justice system should be biased simply because a black man dated a white girl and it didn't work out. You know what I'm saying? But again, another person, another male whose life is probably ruined. I mean, the nigga might be on Tubi movies from here on out. Well, he might be on Tyler Perry movies for the rest of his life.
He might be.
Nothing wrong with being on Tyler Perry movies.
When you were at Marvel?
Okay, all right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean,
But so what about Cassie in this whole situation? I know we're talking about Diddy, but I mean, she lost her career because of him.
did she really have
Did she
a
have
career?
one though?
We don't know the behind the scenes stuff
True.
that happened.
That's
they
true.
they were saying like if they were having the freak off parties.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't never been to one of those.
So they were saying like unless she participated in like the freak off party, then he wasn't gonna release certain songs. Like, I mean, it was so many things allegedly, so many things that were said. So I mean, what about her in this? I know we're talking about Diddy, and you're talking about all the males that may have lost something behind something like that. And definitely, I am in no way justifying bogus accusations or allegations, whatever the word is. But what about the women?
I agree.
I agree, but
But
she was already out of. She wasn't dealing with him anymore, so whatever she had, she took it and left.
yeah,
But
but I feel like she.
I mean, it's not like she had like a high reputation or anything. Like, she was already Diddy's girlfriend. That's, once she did her song,
I like
then
her
she
song.
just went to Diddy's girlfriend.
But see, that's the thing about music though, is like you got to consider the fact that who gave her the song that you like. Like, how do you, like, a lot of these records that people make, right? You got like a songwriter, you got a producer, and they just kind of shop them around to the people who are hot. So Diddy theoretically could have said you wouldn't have had the one song that they liked if it wasn't for me. So, the fact that she probably, and that's another thing that, I kind of hate it for females, is because if you're a pretty female and you're trying to be in the entertainment industry, let me just keep it a buck. There's some dick at the end of these rooms. Like, if you want to be successful, right?
Yeah.
You talking about being a singer, right? What's the difference between, let me see, somebody like a Sierra vocally and Aaliyah vocally? Like, if we just gonna keep it a buck, I know everybody loves Aaliyah. I'm not saying this. Please don't get in the comments and swear up and down bashing Aaliyah. Not bashing Aaliyah. What I'm saying is her voice, her vocals were about average. They're about average. The songs she sung were great songs. Name one song where Aaliyah carried a note and you was like, damn, she did that.
Rock the Boat.
I don't know what note she talking about. Do you know what note she talking about? I'm just saying.
What riff?
Rock the boat. That is talent.
I'm not saying that's
No, it's not. You sounded good saying it right now.
Yeah, we put a little auto-tune on that. We can put that on radio. I'm just saying it's the same for Sierra. The Body Party song. It's the same thing where it's like vocally, anybody could have really sung Body Party. You know what I'm saying? Future gave her that record, which is what you see a lot of times. Summer Walker did the joint with London on the track, and what was it, the Usher remix, You Make Me Wanna, whatever the song was, they redid it.
I don't know which one.
It's a record she did, and it was like they took Usher's old song and they just re-chopped it up and then they redid
Oh yeah,
it.
you
or
make
whatever.
me wanna come through.
Yeah. That's
okay.
another record that you can give that to anybody,
Yeah.
and it sounds good.
Okay, so where are we getting at though with this?
A lot of females, again, they taking dick for these records. Like, when it come down to it, you get into these rooms with these A&Rs and these executives, right? What makes you the girl who deserves that record over the next chick that deserves that record? What are you willing to do
So
for
you're
it?
just saying the music industry is full of crooks, and it's just.
I think Hollywood too.
Yeah.
How do you get movie parts? What's the difference between picking a Taraji P. Henson versus a Holly Berry?
Yeah, something just came out about somebody overheard that Holly Berry.
Yeah, I seen that.
That's another-
I seen that.
that's-
Holly Berry what?
So Gilbert Arenas, who has his own podcast, shout out to y'all. If y'all want to go ahead and repost this, we'll take any promotions that we can. But Gilbert Arenas kind of said that, you know, he was like on the court or whatever like that. And Harvey Weinstein just happened to be courtside. And he said he was doing his little warm-ups or whatever like that. And I guess Harvey was around a couple of dudes. And Holly came in and he was just like, oh, now she don't want to talk to nobody. She was doing a lot more than talking when she needed that part for that movie. And
so do you see what women have to go through though?
I agree. I agree. But so the question is would you rather not have it this way and y'all not get those opportunities? Because that's a thing too. Because we always look at it like, okay, well, we shouldn't have to go through this, but how many women fuck their way into a position that they didn't necessarily deserve, or maybe it wasn't their time. I can say they could deserve because, you know, skill set's a skill set, but we know people in certain professions, you know, whereas they get up the ladder, they circumvent other hardworking employees and they get promoted, and everybody's like, well, how did this person get promoted? And you see the relationship that they have with the manager and you're like, that's a little peculiar. She got off at 3:00. This is 9:15. What's she still doing here? And you see these things and it's just like, it creates those opportunities. So it's like, for the women who capitalize off those opportunities, should we find a way to stop those opportunities from happening? Like what would, in a perfect world, like how would you fix this situation? Because it's been happening and it continues to happen. It's going to continue to happen because it's, I ain't gonna call it the oldest exchange in the world, but kind of is. Favor for a favor. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. So what are your thoughts on like just the state of the professional world, like whether it's blue collar, whether it's entertainment? You see these things all the time. Like what is your take on that?
So in a perfect world, I would base it off of talent and experience and things like that. But in reality, we don't live in a perfect world. So these things do happen. But I don't think everybody every female that's in the music industry slept their way. Like, Jonathan, not every female has done that. Yeah. Like, I think Diddy got with Cassie when she was like 19. She was a baby. She was so impressionable. And she had this big dream. And then, I don't want to say the word groom because I know that's like a trigger word. But I feel like Diddy probably took advantage of her being maybe young and naive and things like that. But I don't feel like that's everybody's story.
I don't think it's everybody's story.
But it's a good amount.
But I think more often than not, because you look at the talent, right? You got somebody like Elle Verner, right? The girl who sung Refill, for those people who don't know who Elle Verner is, right? Talented, like songwriting wise, vocally, very talented. Her actual trajectory was always like this, right? Because if you noticed in her music videos, even in her songs, the structure of it wasn't necessarily slutty. It was kind of like creative. It was still talking about love. And you get into these positions where you're looking to get to album number 2 if your first album did good enough. And these execs are saying, well, why would we sign off on doing? I mean, you barely did what you did on this one. We gonna need you to do a little bit more. I know
what we need to do.
What's that?
Get more people, more women in those positions.
Interesting.
I solved it.
Now, how are you gonna do that? I'm just
bars.
That's not funny. I'm not laughing. I am a girl's girl, but
what's the only way to get them to
hey, that is not the only way, y'all.
Just saying.
But I mean, realistically, that does happen. But
right.
I think we need to get some women in there. Like, there's some women that are at these record labels that are in pretty high up positions. But when you have things like this that are so rooted into already what they have going on, it's sometimes hard to like develop a new way of doing things.
Well, and then even the women that you're talking about are high up. If they had to put in work to get to where they needed to be, what make you think they just gonna let some female come in here and not put in work to get where they need to be?
Yeah, and that's where the talent and the drive and the dedication.
But when the talent is marginal, right? When the difference between A to B is 5 and 6, like again, what makes you lean in one direction or the other? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing. Beyonce, I think we can all look at her and say vocally, she does things to music that a lot of women can't do, right? But then you have somebody like a Rihanna, right? still she has a decent voice, but how many other women are in the Caribbean that have that kind of voice that you could have went and groomed, hate to say it, but you know, to be a Rihanna? I mean, I think it comes down to what you're willing to do for these opportunities. And that's why I think R. Kelly was able to operate as long as he was, because truth be told, it's a lot of people who...
It might sound pretty good if you don't have.
I mean,
you said do what? I'm just kidding.
They knocking R. Kelly, but hey, she took pictures with Jay-Z. She took pictures with Dame Dash. She wasn't but 17, 18. Foxy Brown.
Condoning this.
I'm not no. Oh, by any stretch are we condoning this? I'm just pointing out that there have been young women around hip hop for a while now. If I'm not mistaken, Lil' Kim was a little.
Was she young?
She was little.
Yeah. And they said it was very common. Like Escape and all of them. Like they started out at like 14, 15.
I'm just saying, like, you know, and there's some stuff floating around about JD. You know what I'm saying? There continues to him and his relationship with Chris Cross. This stuff has been like, I've been heard about it, like, but it's always been like rumors. So now it's actually coming to fruition. One of them unalived themselves. So unfortunately, like, you know, we may never know what actually happened over there. But you hear about this a lot, almost to a point where it's just like the people who haven't been called to the carpet, either they do have so much influence, so much money, where it's just like, you bet not, you know what I'm saying? Or there's just so many people who still engage in it that everybody, it's like a gentleman's handshake. We all know that it's going on, so we just don't say nothing about it.
Right.
Did you guys hear that they're about to like release the names for what is it, Epstein Island or whatever?
Oh yeah. Yes, I think they said two names are not gonna be released because they won a lawsuit or something.
But everybody else on Front Street.
Yeah.
Heard Bill Gates was in that list of people that was going over there.
It might be.
So
there might be one of the names
people
not
so
released.
corrupt.
Could be. Oprah went over there. Donald Trump went over there. Like, I'm just telling you, like, the pictures that I've seen of those gatherings. There's been a lot of people who openly went over there and, you know, enjoyed.
So do you think all of those people, well, I guess we don't know. Clearly we don't know. Knew what was going on?
If you went twice, I would have to assume. If you went
more than once, you know what's going on.
It's like visiting a porn site when you were a kid. Like, you probably didn't know the first time you clicked on it.
Typed in something like, let me type it in again.
Right, like you went twice. Yeah, it's kind of a mission of guilt there. You know what I'm saying? Especially you start hearing some of the stuff like, you know, trafficking and stuff like that.
That's
like,
what it is.
What are you going on? What are you going to the island for? What can you do at that island that you can't do in the state and get away with it?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
this is his island. He make the rules.
He can do what he want to do over there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know who sanctioned what government sanctioned that island or whatever the situation was, but I mean, yeah, it's a lot of that stuff that goes on, and it's a lot of powerful people at the top who kind of live in those indulgences, and they find ways to carry out those fantasies or those fetishes or whatever you have. I mean, just because they didn't go to Epstein Island don't mean they didn't fly over to the Philippines or something where, you know, you can work as an 11-year-old over there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of that stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. As far as P Diddy goes though, like, the guy's been having a lot of bad karma in general. Like, I've never heard an artist that was with Puff Daddy say, I got treated right, like financially, like I got shelved. He owns my publishing, and then he gave it back when it meant absolutely nothing.
Right.
Ain't nobody checking for All About the Benjamins no more. Maybe.
So do you think like he sort of knew this was coming? Because like in the last 5 years, he was sort of like rebranding himself to be like all about positivity and things like that.
I think somebody threatened him.
Yeah.
Somebody threatened, like, you keep playing with me, I'm going to release the stuff. He probably got serious for him. Like, all right, man, I know they got some stuff. Let me go ahead and push some of this stuff out just in case. Something come out.
I think it's too little too late. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody didn't sign those NDAs. So my understanding, and again, I'm not like chicks say on TikTok, I'm not a lawyer, but you know what I mean?
I'm about to tell you.
Right.
I'm not a lawyer, but from my understanding was that like he was giving people their publishing back, but he was making them sign an NDA to say that you couldn't say anything disparaging against Bad Boy. Now, how many of those people could have been key witnesses?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that would violate the NDA if you're ordered to do it by court. I don't know what the stipulations on that would be, but I mean, to openly talk about some of those things, and everybody didn't take the NDA.
Right.
It was a girl with,
Aubrey.
Yeah.
From Danny Kane.
She didn't
is not
take it.
playing with him.
I don't think Mark Curry took it, which was another bad boy artist. He only had like the one song, so y'all probably don't know who I'm talking about. But I think Mace took it, if I'm not mistaken, because he like openly, he got his little podcast with Cameron. He doesn't really say anything. He act like everything is new information. He'd be like, "Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I ain't know that." Like,
yeah, we know he know.
he knows.
That's why he had took it. Like that used to be his main man. So
well, I mean, but Mace had hits though. Like,
yeah,
you know
what I'm saying. He knows what's going on. He was
Take that.
yeah, he's right up under him. You know what I'm saying? He took him in.
Yeah, well,
he took something.
Stop with joking.
Imagine being at a signing for like a contract and just be like, yeah, so you're gonna have to let Puffy play in your booty hole to get on Bad Boy.
What?
You know what? This deal is off.
Hey, you know what? This
deal is off.
I'm sure there were a lot of people that said no. I'm sure there was a lot of people that said no.
You know what? I wonder if Farnsworth got something.
I heard
about him.
I heard Farnsworth. Well, he didn't have any publishing or nothing like that, but
he still.
I heard there was
around though.
I heard he had to sign an NDA of sorts.
I forgot all about him.
Yeah, him and his umbrella.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you hear about that with like making the band artists like
Aubrey O'Day.
You can
making the band.
See how he treated them, like made them walk the Cheesecake Factory.
That's what they do.
Not Cheesecake Factory, but the Cheesecake Place and whatever.
Yeah, just to get studio time.
Just to get studio time.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's almost like hazing.
Cassie had to do things to get studio
I
time.
heard allegedly old girl turned in a video where she got urinated on.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
I could be embarrassing. That could be
it was just a little pee. Just a little pee.
She has daughters, or I don't know if they're daughters, but yeah, she got 2 kids by their Diddy's old trainer.
Okay, man. Like if we just gonna keep it a buck.
By Diddy's old trainer.
That's her husband.
Oh damn, she stepped down.
Alex Fine. Hey, he is a great stand-up guy.
So she was messing with him while she was messing with Diddy, or afterwards?
I mean, I don't know the details, but she's now married to maybe like 3 and 4 or something like that.
She just had them. Okay.
Wow. Yeah, but I mean, everybody, mama probably been peed on or something like that. We just gonna keep it a buck. I mean, I don't want to think about that, but you never know what your folks was into. I digress. All I will say is this, though.
Bounce off that shiny suit.
But there has to be some type of truth to her lawsuit or civil suit, because like he tried to settle it outside of court for 8 figures, right?
I think he did sell it. They filed it when it went public.
But yeah. Well, okay, so before when she was letting him know what she was about to do, he offered 8 figures, and whatever the amount was, he didn't.
I think
go for
if the lady, if I'm remembering, the TikTok lady, I'm not a lawyer, she was saying that he didn't do it. His insurance, though, she was going after his insurance. So once it went to the insurance, they took over automatically. It didn't matter what he could have said 10 figures, but whatever they had, they gave it to them.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's what so a lot of companies, for those people who don't know, a lot of companies have what they call D&O insurance for a lot of their officers and directors, right? Board of directors, officers assigned by the director. So the decisions that your directors make are normally, under normal circumstances, covered in the D&O insurance policy. So I'm assuming when they got wind of it, because you got to understand there's investors involved, there's other directors, it would behoove the company to try to make this a seamless transition, especially if there's validity there. They have some evidence where it's kind of damning, or even if it goes public at this point, sometimes it could not even be something that's so appalling that you just have to settle. Just the fact that you're being sued for something in that realm is enough for people to say, okay, let's just get this off the table. So when they did that, they sent that information over to the insurance settled like the next day. I've never heard, even insurance wise, where they've made a settlement in 24 hours. I think Thursday they posted it. Friday it was like, oh, that's over with. And I'm like, Jesus Christ.
And what was the amount? Like 32?
I don't know if I ever got an amount. Let me see. I'll see if I can flip it.
But with that, I would say they had already maybe had wind of it also.
Oh,
for them to do it that fast, he might have called them, hey, something might come out. So y'all be,
the 37-year-old singer was seen out after settling a $30 million lawsuit. 30 M's.
Period.
30 M's.
And what it said for mental, she got that amount for mental trauma.
Who was accused of repeated physical abuse and the big R.
And she lost her career, it seems like. Like, when have you heard of...
She
didn't have a career because she didn't get a chance to grow. He was keeping her, you know? You don't think that? Like, she could have been so much further off in her career.
If we're just being honest, I think if let's just say she would have sabotaged with Bad Boy, I think she would have went to another record label or another AR who would have probably did something similar. Maybe not as bad.
That's horrible. I don't think everybody's going through this.
Going through what?
When he just said something similar.
It
sounded like you're saying any female has to, like, be a victim of SA to get to the top.
I mean, not necessarily a victim. You just got to be okay with the situation. I mean,
nobody's gonna be. Well, I'll take that back. Some people.
Do you think about like the last couple of female artists that have kind of hit big, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think they care about adding another body to their list to get to where they want to be at?
God.
Respectfully, I'm not trying to insult nobody.
If you really think about it, you think about Sukiyama.
Sexy
Before
red.
she came out, she put out that video. I had to sign this.
But these are choices. We're talking about something that's forced on somebody. I'm not talking about the person that don't mind.
In a way, it's forced.
Yeah.
In a way, it's
they
forced.
feel like they don't have another option.
It's an ultimatum.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Do this or
don't have a career.
It's like, you know, you got, let's just say you got 5 kids and they all looking at you like they hungry. And you got to sign this deal. Like,
what would you do if your son was at home crying all alone on the bedroom floor because he's hungry? And the only way to feed him is to sleep with a man for a little bit of money and his daddy's gone. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, I mean.
That's horrible. But, I mean, a lot of people are facing those situations and they do think about their families. However, Cassie didn't have no kids at the time. She was 19.
So, like you said, she was impressionable.
Yeah.
It didn't take much. Then,
yeah.
I mean, you gotta
and
look
Diddy
at
was like 30-something, so he knew what he was doing.
I mean, but it's not like he had a bad life. I mean, the man got yachts, he got villas.
I'm not saying she, you know, I'm sure a lot of that was appealing to her. I'm not lying about that part. But I think when you start talking about, like, SA and the big R, as you refer to, I don't feel like she had a choice with that. I feel like he forced himself on her. And then you get into like a cycle of abuse. I don't know if you guys are familiar with like domestic violence. Never.
Well, I wouldn't say familiar, but
you get into a cycle and it's a lot of mental things where you feel like you can't leave. And then he does have a lot of power. She was scared.
Yeah. I'm not knocking her. I'm just saying, like, and I think that's what people mean when you hear so often when you hear people say, oh, you sold your soul. Like when people go to Hollywood, so I don't think anybody met with the devil and signed off on their soul. I think the actions that you have to partake in, it takes something out of you to let somebody pee on you.
I never looked at it that way.
And
I never looked at it that way.
Yeah, I think it's kind of symbolic, and it's just like in order to remain at the top, like what do these people do? Like for instance, like okay, Hollywood, you'll have like a stretch, right? I think Sam Worthington was probably one of those actors, the guy from Avatar. He had like a stretch when this man was in probably like 9 or 6 movies. Like it's like, how are you getting all these roles just all of a sudden? They just fall, and then we are talking theatrical releases. How are you getting these parts over everybody else? Now you got people like Denzel Washington and Leonardo DiCaprio, and these people are they're good at what they do, right? Sam Worthington's, I could swap him out for at least 20 other people that I can think of. How did they say we're picking you to pick up on Terminator, to Avatar? Avatar made like $1 billion. How did they decide that you're the person for that part? You know what I'm saying? And you hear that stuff, and then you hear stuff like Terrence Howard telling you he made $12,000 doing Hustle and Flow.
Yeah.
How does he not get these opportunities? But you know what I'm saying? Like, what door are we not knocking on, or what are we not willing to do with our integrity to get these parts?
That's why he wasn't in Iron Man.
Iron Man, from what I heard from Iron Man, was that at the time they filmed Iron Man, because it was like a test movie, Terrence Howard made more money than Robert Downey Jr.
Right. But then he tried to come back and make more, and they didn't want to do that.
They wanted to restructure based off the first one and based off what they were going to pay Tony Stark for number 2, and he didn't want to take less money. Now, granted, nigga, you really didn't do nothing in the first one. You didn't even get in the suit. So, I mean, that was a nice payday for him, but I don't think, I get where he's coming from, where he's just like, well, if you paid me $13 million to do the first one, why would I take $8 to do the second one? You know what I'm saying?
Are these people, I'm sorry, I'm not really good. Are these people like black and white? Like, is somebody
Terrence Howard's
white?
black.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I know is the other person we're talking about.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, he played Iron Man, but you know he had legal troubles. Yeah,
You
terrible.
know Captain Jack Sparrow.
That ain't Captain. That is not the same person. That is not the same person.
What else he played?
One was Johnny Depp. One was Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr.
There's some
played
racism there.
Well, I don't know if it's racism. I think Terrence Howard believed that from a professional standpoint, he reached this point, this plateau where he should be paid a certain amount. And they just begged to differ based off of the performance from the first one, which not necessarily his fault.
Anything, so it wasn't like he really showcased anything.
Right. I don't think it's necessarily his fault. How you utilize somebody in the actual cut of a movie is kind of up to you.
Right.
You could have gave me, 1,000 scenes and you cut it down to 30. I can't. That's not nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? That's whatever director's cut that you guys use. So
right.
But yeah, that was my understanding. Was his take was they didn't want to pay him as much as they paid him the last time, and then they went with Don Cheadle. Shout out Don Cheadle.
Damn, I know that one.
Shout out Don Cheadle. So I don't know, man. I think this conversation needs to be had more often. I think we all need to. I wish we can get some people on here that can speak a little bit more to like being in those rooms and just kind of like those ultimatums that are like on the table but not in writing type shit. Like,
you think somebody would speak on that?
Maybe,
Probably.
maybe. It depends. It depends on where they are.
I don't know if our platform is big enough, so they may.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? They may give us some tad bits, but
I don't know.
the bigger the platform, the more they probably can't say anything.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
And not to mention the fact,
Yeah,
it's not really hard to blackball somebody in Hollywood or in them. I mean, now you can kind of blackball somebody and they can go to like YouTube and they can create their own.
They can go to Zeus.
Own network.
Yeah, they can go to Zeus with Natalie Nunn.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, again, when we're talking about
They say they pay good over there.
what is good.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What is good?
Good for
You
me.
can go to Tubi and make your own movie.
Yeah, and we know how those go.
Man, Tubi got some good plots.
Man, them shits be
Now,
like,
the cinematics of it, I don't know.
man, them movies is unwatchable sometimes.
I seen a movie yesterday called Please. This girl, she dates somebody. They don't do it right. She take them to a basement and kill them or torture them or whatever. And it's just like
unalive them.
Unalive them, I'm sorry. And it's just over and over and over. Like every guy, you did wrong. Go to the basement. She had her homegirl try. He tried. Yeah, he gonna meet me. Go to the basement.
Let me ask you a quick question.
She might be honest.
Was this woman white?
No,
That is a switch. That is definitely a
she
switch.
was Asian.
Oh God. Oh God. Wow.
But it was, I mean, that's something I haven't seen in like a regular movie theater.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think you can definitely take more chances when you go to something that has a lower budget.
Right.
We're not basing the success of this off of ticket sales.
Yeah.
But
They getting paid off too, you know.
yeah, but it's in volume though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are indie movies. You know what I'm saying? For real. Like Hustle and Flow was an indie movie that just got picked up by MTV.
So that's what I'm saying. Any movie can get picked up.
It could, but Tubi's ain't getting picked up.
You don't think
As a
so?
matter of fact, I swear to God, I actually got on Tubi and I looked up what I needed to submit a film to Tubi.
What did it say?
All you need is a film. I forgot what the time frame was, and you have to get like a movie poster and a trailer. It's all you need to submit to Tubi.
We
Let's
should
do
make
it.
a movie,
Let's
y'all.
It's not.
Coming
know.
soon.
Coming soon.
Oh God.
Let's do it.
Oh God.
I've been writing already anyway.
Oh Lord. This is terrible. A knock at the door. We're gonna be in here doing a podcast. That's gonna be the Oh man. But yeah, man, this was a good one. I think we need to continue this conversation. We gotta bring some more people in to that probably have a little bit more expertise. Maybe not somebody who's an actor, because if you're acting, obviously you're probably not going to speak on it because that's you're still in the business. But maybe
somebody behind,
maybe like a cameraman or like a gift guy or something, like a key grip or something like that, who's kind of been around long enough to see these instances and to see, you know, how actors and actresses kind of act around certain people and stuff like that. Because I remember, I know we got to get out of here, but I remember Tupac. No, was it Tupac? No, it was Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle was talking about how he was doing a movie and he was doing Blue Street and how they tried to throw him in a dress in Blue Street. He was just like, wow, I gotta get in a dress. I'm funnier than a dress. Yeah. And he said, like, the higher ups, he said from the director to the executive producer, everybody was going into his dressing room trying to talk him into wearing a dress. And he said, man, I'm not wearing a dress. He said, man, it's in the script, da 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 da. When he finally put his foot down and said, hey, man, you can send whoever you want to send in here. I'm not wearing a dress. He said it came back 5 minutes later with a whole new script. So they knew if he doesn't go for it, then, you know, we have an alternative. But let's just see if we can get him to do something that wouldn't necessarily play into his masculinity. Let's see if we can put him out on that ledge. And it happens a lot. Yeah. It happens a lot. So we definitely need to continue this conversation on, man. And this could be a part 1 of a part 2 or however long. If y'all want to see more.
We still got to find out what's going to happen with Diddy. So we'll be back.
That nigga guilty.
That's a lot of allegations.
You don't find that suspicious?
I do.
You don't find that suspicious?
Yeah, so yeah, man, but this one been real, man. We'll catch y'all on the next one. As always, man, this is your boy, Mr. Snapisode.
It's your favorite cousin, KG.
And I'm Valerie.
Yeah, man. And we'll catch y'all on the next one.
We out.